Hey guys, for the second part of the Fantasy Premier League, I'm going to talk about midfielders, strikers, and substitutes. As for the midfielders, I have put Sterling, Arnautovic, Jason Puncheon, Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey and Sterling should be obvious. Aaron Ramsey was arguably the best player of last season, or at least the first part of season, because he got injured. Then after that his form did get down a little bit, but he really stepped up last season. As well as Sterling, even though he's very young, he's like one of the main players for Liverpool. Last season he had a very bad game against Hull, and I thought Sterling just isn't ready yet. After that game, the next game onwards, he was on fire, man. All from that, I think the Hull game was really an eye-opening game, because even though Liverpool lost, Liverpool learned a lot of things, and Sterling was really one of the worst players on that match. But after that match, as you all can see, he's improved leaps and bounds. As for Arnautovic and Jason Puncheon, that might cause a few surprises for all the viewers here. For Jason Puncheon, he's the player who got a spark. He's the player who can create something out of nothing for Crystal Palace. Arsenal first game at home against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace will be definitely defensively sound. Pressure is all on Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez, Ozil, Giroud, Walcott, all the pressure will be on them. This is like last season where Aston Villa versus Arsenal. And I really think even if Arsenal win, I think Arsenal will win, should win, but it wouldn't be an easy match. I think it's like a 2-1 match, 3-2 match, a match where Crystal Palace will really give them a good fight. And if Crystal Palace score against Arsenal, the player who most likely going to score for Crystal Palace against Arsenal, Jason Puncheon. As for the last player for the midfield, Arnautovic. Arnautovic is the best technical player in Stoke. I know it's Stoke maybe has one or two technical players. Arnautovic is a player who got the size to be a Stoke player, but he's technically very sound. And against the Aston Villa side, which I think is the worst side in the EPL this season. For 2 seasons, last season and last season, they should have been relegated. Their defense is shocking. The only good player they have is Benteke. Ekbenlauer, very inconsistent. Stoke at home is very strong team as well. So I believe Stoke would win the match comfortably, and Arnautovic will be in the scoreline. As for the strikers, I went with Bojan, Sturridge, Giroud. As I said in the earlier part of the video, Crystal Palace may give a tough fight against Arsenal. I think Arsenal should win, but I won't think the regular players would score, where the Walcott, Santi Cazorla. I think this season Giroud must prove himself whether he's a top player or not. Lots of Arsenal fans think he's not the world class player they need. They really want a top class striker, and lots of fans don't like, because they say he's too slow, he doesn't run. This season a very crucial season for Oliver Giroud. Against Crystal Palace, maybe if he get a couple of goals against Crystal Palace, it will be a good start. It will be a confidence booster for him. And I think the score prediction for Crystal Palace Arsenal will be 2-1 to Arsenal. Giroud will score 1, assist 1. That's my prediction. You heard it first here. As for Sturridge, I no need to explain. My prediction for the top goal scorer for the season is Daniel Sturridge. As for Bojan, a lot of people think he may not adapt to the Premier League because it's too physical. But for the first match against Aston Villa, I think he would score a couple of goals. He was the next big thing for Barcelona, but somewhere along the way, he just got lost. From Barcelona, he went to AC Milan, Ajax, finally to Stoke. It should be an insult to him. He should use this league, use this time to really prove that he's a top player. And I think against Aston Villa, Bojan and Stoke have a perfect candidate to show how good they are, because I think Stoke can be a surprise package for this season. They will overachieve. I think they will get around. They might fight for Europe. They can fight for Europe. And for the first game, Bojan will score a couple of goals. As for the substitutes, I went for Speroni. He's a very good keeper. He will play almost every game. What else can you say? And Tony Pulis's side defensively is very sound. As for the other three outfield players, Davies, the best defender in Hull, won't score a lot of goals, but crucial for Hull. Hull don't concede that much of goals. As for the other two, Baines and Barkley, the first match against Leicester is their away match. I think they would lose their match, but for second week they will be assessing Arsenal at home. For that match alone, I'm putting Baines and Barkley in the substitute, because I think for the first week they won't perform as well as they did last season. But next week against Arsenal, Barkley and Baines will be key. Baines, as you all know, can score free kicks, can run up and down, give crosses. Barkley, the next big thing in English football. So basically, this team, I've shown you, there's no real star. There's no Yaya Toure. There's no Chelsea player. There's no Man City players, for God's sake. But if you want to win, I think this team for game week 1 is the best team. Chelsea against Burnley. Burnley's first home match. Anything can happen. Newcastle will be at home against Man City. And Newcastle, St. James Park. Man City, I think they need a few games until they reach top gear. Maybe this match will be a 0-0 draw. So Chelsea and Man City, I don't think they'll have good weeks for this week, for game week 1. They might win, and I might look like a complete fool. They should win, actually. Anyway, this is my team. Any comments y'all can leave below. Any suggestion on how to improve the video, y'all can leave below. Because I'm actually new to all this YouTube stuff. I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know how to put images in videos. I was just learning just now how to put and how to edit and all that stuff. So any improvement, any comments, y'all can just put it down. And any suggestion on what I can talk about, anything about football and anything about UFC, just leave it down below and I'll talk about it. Thank you, and I'll meet y'all maybe next week for the game week 2. Thank you then.